All right, so after looking at the gameplay from the demo that everyone's got to, well, not everyone, but the people have been able to play, and more trailers like the game mode trailers. Uh, from what I could gather from those, seeing some panels from the episode game mode that show like Deborah and all these other characters. There's a couple that I threw in like Dodoria, Kui, and Frost, and even Kava because we haven't seen him yet. But I would expect to see them because we saw Zarbon, so we had to expect his full power. We saw I think we saw Evil Boo. We saw what could very likely be Kid Goku. It looked like it could maybe be Team Gohan's base form, but it was way more close to Kid Goku. Um, and with that, I added him. We already know we're gonna get Teen Gohan, so even if it was Teen Gohan, that didn't really matter too much. Uh, and with Kid Goku, I also added King Piccolo. I don't think we saw him, but I would expect to at least have one villain from that arc from Dragon Ball uh, to go with them, and also Kid Goku's a Saiyan, and much like how every Saiyan in the previous game or the previous title had well, at least the ones that could transform into great apes had the great ape transformation. I went ahead and gave everyone that we saw, like including Bardock, a transformation for great ape. Uh, Frost, you could argue he's probably not gonna have all his forms, but I at least expect him to be in the game. Kaba as well. There's no reason to have KO Khalifa and hit and not have Kaba or Frost. You know, I guess you could take uh, Frost down to just final form if you want to save up some slots, and maybe even remove full power because we did see him, but he didn't really do much in full power. So maybe they won't even add him for that reason. But everything else, we saw Chi Chi. It was adult Chi Chi, but it was in a panel. Maybe she might just be there to say something. Who knows? But she has a model. She has a full character model, so you know it makes sense for her to be playable. We saw Ultimate Gohan, as to be expected anyway, since we have the full Majin Buu arc, and can't really expect not having we have all these other characters, especially since he does have a good role in Super anyway. Uh, they didn't show Vegito and his Super Saiyan, but obviously we're gonna get that, so I have to add that as well. Spovich, we saw him too. Uh, so he's gonna be a game. We saw Chaozu. Uh, what else? I think that's about it. We saw Jiro too. I think we're gonna get 19 based off of that, and Cell Junior too. Even though it's not too much, it's gonna be a full story. So I can't really say that the story is gonna have to be shaped with these characters because they're important to the story. But you know, I would expect them to be. They're in the last title. There's no reason not to have them in this game. So anybody else that should be expected coming from the last game, at least as far as uh, more relevant to the sagas, then I would expect to see like 16. We didn't see 16, but we saw Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. We know how he went Super Saiyan 2. It's because of the whole thing with everyone getting their ass kicked, and then 16 sacrificing himself to just to tell Gohan, let it go. Uh, what else? I expect Bardock to probably get Super Saiyan, but just for the sake of having more slots for everything else, I'm not gonna put it in here. Because we saw Bardock, so we know he's gonna be in the game. Uh, but other than that, this is what I could come to, right? We saw Trunks. I guess I should talk about that too. So we have base form. We have to have it for the Black Art Trunks. Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 have to be added too because he has those forms. Uh, I doubt they'll skip him because he has them. It doesn't make any sense for them to skip him. And since we know now that Trunks isn't even Super Saiyan, that's his Rage form. Uh, really want to have the one with no irises too, but just because that also is Rage form too, I'll just accept that. I mean, not gonna lie, that's good too because I think if I had to choose between that form and Sword of Hope, I would rather have Sword of Hope. So you know, whatever. I didn't count Bergamo's brothers. We saw him in his ult, but just for the sake of slots again, to have at least two more slots again, I didn't count them. Golden Frieza, Roshi's gonna have to have his full power form. There's no way they don't have it. He has the super version of himself, but it looks like he's constantly in the form. And then, you know, Roshi from Z and Dragon Ball, I guess, he'd have to have his. I don't see him not having his max power form. It's got to be there. There's no way. Like if it isn't, it's a little disappointing. It's actually very, very disappointing. Again, I have my gripes with this game, and I know it's going to be great. Gameplay looks great. Everyone's talking about it that had the chance to play it. Says it feels amazing, and that's still like an old build for the game. So I don't doubt that the game's going to be good. It's just that the spirit of having all these other characters that are from the previous titles is just kind of heart wrenching. I know this is a newer installment and it's on a newer generation system, and much like how Raging Blast had to limit its characters to up the graphics, and for it to even be a newer installment. Well, it's not really a new installment. It was kind of more of a successor in a way to the Tenkaichi series. But just like they have the development time to make all these things, and they have more to make and put in, like more graphic details and more uh more gameplay impact and whatever. So it's just a matter of they have to get this stuff out of the way, so probably won't have time for characters, and that's understandable. I can see that. But it's just, I would rather wait more to have like King Vegeta, King Cold, or Grandpa Gohan, or Devil Man, bro. Like Devil Man versus Merge Zamasu. Imagine he just one shots him with his ult. Or Golden Frieza. Imagine someone from Earth, Frieza, they have in a game where Frieza goes golden and he just gets one shot by Devil May Beam. Like, that's so sick to think of. But it's unfortunately part might not even make it to the game. What else? But again, like I said, as much as that bothers me, I do understand that with development of higher quality and bigger stuff, like we saw the tournament, the power stage. I mean, not tournament power stage, but the tournament, the world tournament stage, and they were out of there. You even have a scene now where they just scatter when something's about to happen, and you can basically leave. It's almost like Raging Blast, but even like further out. Like Raging Blast, I think you could go so high, and I love that about the first Raging Blast, especially. I think it's a little bit smaller in Raging Blast 2, or it might be bigger, but you could almost go over the stands, like out that way, and it's just like, man, it looked amazing. And in Sparking, it looks so good, like going all the way over, seeing Goku all the way over there, and want to see React's videos, and like, jeez, man, it's just like, the game is gonna be great. I know this game is gonna be great. I'm not hating on the gameplay or anything like that. It's just the characters and the local play, because the other game modes, like the event creator thing and the episode game mode, that those look amazing, like really, really good, especially the creator thing, like that's really hard. I really like that. But the local play, again, it's so it's so built into the series up to Tenkaichi 3 that it's like, it's hard to believe that they would even envision creating this game and making it a single player. Like, I understand, yes, they were going online. We didn't have online back then, and it's more, of a dominant thing now, having online gameplay. So it's technically still would have had this multiplayer, but limiting it to online is kind of just like, hurts me a little bit, because, we grew up with local play, and what if, I have a drop by, someone says they're going to come over, I go over somewhere else, like my cousins or something, and we want to play this game because we're gonna want to play it. That's dead. After this game drops, we're probably not gonna play anything else. The only thing I see myself playing, other than this game, after I get it, because I'm probably gonna get this first, because I have no choice. Like, dude, I've got to pre-order. I have to pre-order, and I think I'm gonna get the deluxe edition simply because I have to worry about. That too. That also bothers me. The game's still in development. Even the most recent trailers even said still in development. So having DLC already is just yucky. Like, You're in development still. Take more time. I will wait another year or two. I will do it because I that's how badly I want this game. Like, or that's how badly everyone's have wanted a new installment, or at least even like a remaster or just a port to for the older games in the series. But yeah, I would even wait for these characters. So like having not having Beast Gohan base roster hurts because he's been yes the game has been in development before superhero, but Beast has now been around for 2 years. So you would think they during development they add them in. We have these other characters. I don't think I even counted like Supreme Kai or Kabito Kai if they're gonna be in the game because look how I have 13 slots left. It's hard to even think about that when I haven't seen a GT character yet. Even in the other panels for the episode, I haven't seen a single GT character. I've seen Kid Goku, but he was the gi looked more orange than dark or like light blue or whatever. But what was I saying? Sorry, I got caught up doing something else. I had to come back. Uh, but more to the point. Care. What was I saying? Oh, I'd rather wait for development. Yeah, I'd rather wait for it. Honestly, I'd rather wait even longer if I got to, because all these other characters are just they build more. They add more life. Like this game's gonna be full of life with all these new super characters and stuff. But we don't see more of the obscure. Like we see Spopovich. I'm happy he's still back in the game. I'm glad he's still in the game, and it gives me hope that other characters will be here. But considering we don't see much else, I'll just take what I see and maybe put in things that I would expect, seeing that they were in the last game and other characters from said arc who are also just as, if not only a little more powerful or whatever in terms of like viability you would expect. Like say Zarbon again. Ghidorah is not as strong as Zarbon, but Zarbon was shown in one of the panels, so we'd expect to see the rest of the fodder that Vegeta folded. At least made fodder, by powering up, whatever. But then what I added Mecha Frieza too. But all these other characters, like they were so you know it made it feel like it wasn't just a a Z game or GT. It wasn't a powerhouse game. It felt more like it was a full Dragon Ball, like a generational thing. Like every character from any part of any saga or any arc was what we get. You get fucking Grandpa Gohan, man. He didn't really do much. He ended up dying, and he's important to the character. But you know, gameplay wise, what could you do? But they still did it, and that's what made it amazing. Like you have Tao. Tao was like General Tao. At least cybernetic Tao was like my favorite character, just because I liked seeing him slash people with the damn rush attack. It was so fire to me when I was younger. It would suck to not have him like versus Blue Gogeta now. But that and the multiplayer again. I get this is a new game or whatever, but that shouldn't take from the integrity of the series. Like we had local multiplayer, and granted, again, there was no online. It was a part of the game. It was like a great aspect of the game. So like them not having that in mind when they were making the game, it just kind of just sucks. Like I get the game's gonna be great. Again, I'm not saying the game's gonna be bad, but that I'm not gonna get it because it doesn't have that, or well that it just now added it. But or that it's gonna be limited now to the hyperbolic time chamber. Like I want to see all of this same stuff that we had before, but upgraded upon and added to, not cut and sacrifice to build something else. And I get it again. Bigger generation, bigger, I'm sorry, higher generation systems and stuff, so more detail can be added, which would go into more development for just particular things like that. But like again, I'd wait the time for it. Uh, But that really just kind of throwed me, especially that DLC. The character roster looks great, but it's still. I wish that the core that was there before, with the older, more miscellaneous, like almost useless like characters, like I wish they were here too. Or I'm sorry, not I wouldn't say useless, but more like power crept, super fucking in the dirt characters like Frieza Soldier or something like. You know, I would wish they were in the game too, just because they almost like they are part of it. They're part of the game's life, right? They weren't in all the games, but them adding them to the final game or whatever, it made it feel like you weren't. It was more of the Dragon Ball life that you were playing with, right? Uh, those are my problems with the game so far. Uh, other than that, game looks absolutely amazing. Like, gosh, man, it looks so great. I can't even like I can't even say I'm hating on the game right now because just because of how good it looks and how great everybody is talking about the gameplay that did get to play it. Like, visuals look amazing, gameplay looks like it's gonna be the same, and you know they're still in development as we speak. So even that what they played again was only that was like an older model and everything. Like it's gonna be a game. It's gonna be a stupid game. Like I cannot argue with that. But yeah, that's just what I have to say about it in terms of just the character roster and the local play and the DLC because that really just man, I feel like that really could have just all been added into the game already. Y'all could talk about making DLC after the fact, like Daima. We haven't even seen anything of that. So making that DLC or announcing that that would be DLC, I would even understand that. But superhero, man, I'm more like trying to see Moral Arc, Gas, and Granola. Maybe even Black Frieza if we get really lucky. Or Super Saiyan controlled Broly. All of these things or Ultra Ego. But that's wishful thinking because they have no game has seemed to touch on anime character. I mean, manga characters, but they have touched on the moves because again we saw Gamma Burst Flash from Vegeta in this game, and we seen that Goku Black has the Black Bind or whatever the fuck they called it, but that was something he used in the manga. So maybe we could be seeing some manga things in this game. We could see a Hakai on Goku, maybe. Uh, Probably not, but because we see those, it's not far fetched. Uh, Man, that's about it. Game's gonna. I'm super anticipated. Still really hyped for the game. It's just gotta point out some stuff that bothered me. Uh, Other than that, yeah. See ya.